How do our phones affect our sleeping patterns? After watching this video, you will know how many hours of sleep are recommended for middle schoolers, why the amount of sleep you get is important, how sleep works and what it does to help your body, how cell phones impact how much sleep you get, and what these 5 key terms mean. The 5 key terms will be bolded in blue throughout this video. Let's first start with a self-quiz. Take a moment to pause this video and answer the following questions. If you want, you can jot down your answers on a sheet of paper. How many hours of sleep are recommended for middle schoolers? An analysis from the CDC stated that middle schoolers, just like you, need 9 to 12 hours of sleep per night. Looking back on your answers to the self-quiz, how do they compare to these results? Do you get less in the range or more sleep than the recommended amount? If you fall in the less category, you aren't alone. The study also showed that out of every 10 students, about 6 of them didn't get the recommended amount of sleep. Okay, so why is sleep so important that the CDC created a report about it? What are the dangers of not getting enough sleep? Or on the flip side, is getting too much sleep better for you? Does it really matter if I don't get enough sleep? Yes, it really matters. Studies have shown that not getting enough sleep can be harmful. Youths who don't get enough sleep have been shown to have lower exercise levels, increased weight levels, increased risk for developing depressive symptoms, poor grades in school, and increased risk for using drugs, alcohol, and/or smoking. Optimum sleep. Amount matters. Not only is not getting enough sleep bad, but getting too much can be harmful also. Studies have shown that getting too much sleep isn't better for your health. Optimum sleep is how many hours you need to feel well rested when you wake up. Optimum sleep is tailored just for you. This means the amount of sleep that makes your friends feel well rested the next day might not be the same for you. Think back to the answer you gave for question 4 in the self-quiz. On days when you felt well rested, how many hours of sleep did you get? On days when you felt tired, how many hours of sleep do you wish you had? Using these questions, you can monitor your sleep levels to find the best amount of sleep for you. So, how does sleep work? The 24-hour power of the circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is the powerhouse of your sleep controls. It functions on a 24-hour cycle and basically tells your body when it needs to be up and running and when it needs to go to sleep. The circadian rhythm is influenced by all types of factors, the most influential being light. When our circadian rhythm is undisturbed, we become alert and awake when the sun comes up and sleepy when nightfall comes. Our body uses something called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, as a lookout for sunlight. The SCN works with our eyes to send signals to a part of our brain called the pineal gland. One of the functions of the pineal gland is to release a substance called melatonin. Melatonin levels control whether our body feels alert and awake or whether it feels sleepy. When our eyes see light, it tells the SCN to send a signal to the pineal gland to not release any melatonin. This keeps us alert and awake. When our eyes experience darkness, it tells the SCN to send a signal to the pineal gland to release melatonin. This makes us sleepy. These influencers work with the circadian rhythm to place our bodies on a 24-hour cycle of wakefulness and sleepiness, but only when it remains undisturbed. One current disturbance to our circadian rhythm is cell phones. How your phone use can be impacting the amount of sleep you get per night. Scientific studies have proposed multiple ideas for how technology can impact the amount of sleep you get per night. One of these studies looked at the amount of sleep people had when they used technology or screen-based activities before bedtime and compared it to people who didn't participate in screen-based activities before bed. The study found a connection between increased screen time use and less sleep. So, you might be thinking, what is special about screen-based activities that makes them have associations with less sleep? For starters, most phones, computers, televisions, or other technological devices use blue light. Remember when we talked about how light influences our circadian rhythm? Well, scientists believe that the blue light from our phones tricks our eyes into believing that it is light out. So the SCN doesn't send a signal to the pineal gland to increase our melatonin levels, which causes us to become sleepy much later. When we don't feel sleepy, we stay up later at night, and this causes us to not have as many hours of sleep. Another proposed idea is something called psychological stimulation. The study that looked into this possible cause for reduced sleep time suggested that using our phones at night, specifically social media, may be causing us to stay up later because we can't turn our minds off from the social technology world. For this study, scientists interviewed teens about the reasons why they use technology at night. And at the end of the interview, scientists found some common themes throughout the teens' answers. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. Teens who gave this answer stay up late on their phones because they are afraid of missing out on some big or exciting news. FOMO has caused teens to also feel pressure to answer their phones when they buzz or ring, even when they're trying to go to bed early. Some teens felt like it was rude to not answer their friends when they would send messages, so they would stay up late engaging in conversation. How can I limit my tech use at night? Here are my 5 personal tips to have a better night's rest. Tip 1, don't use technology 1 hour or more before bed. Tip 2, find other ways to relax that don't require technology. Reading, playing board games with your family, and writing are some things that I personally do on my tech-free nights. Tip 3, limit your bed use to sleeping only, not a lounge spot. That being said, when I do read or write, I do it at my desk. For some odd reason, using my bed just for sleeping helps me go to sleep faster. Tip 4, if you are tempted to use your phone, set it to automatically go on Do Not Disturb. You can also download a Focus app that blocks you from accessing certain apps when you turn it on. That way, you won't be tempted to check social media. Tip 5, if you absolutely, positively must use your phone or other screen devices, set a designated time to go off them. I personally try to get off all my devices by 10 p.m. at the latest. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope these tips help you get a better night's rest in the future.